So picture this, ancient Greece. You've got philosophers strutting around in robes, stroking their beards, and arguing about the nature of reality, like it's a sport. Plato's doing his whole world of forms thing. Socrates is asking people why they're dumb, and then there's Diogenes, a guy who decided that being a normal functioning human being was for suckers and just went full goblin mode. Diogenes was born in Sinope, which is in modern-day Turkey, and eventually ended up in Athens. Now, most people, when they go to Athens, are like, wow, what a center of learning and culture. Diogenes looked around and went, you guys are way too into this whole civilization thing. So he decided to live in a giant ceramic jar. Not even a nice amphora, just a big old clay tub on the street, like a sentient raccoon with a philosophy degree. Diogenes believed in this philosophy called cynicism, which basically said, all your social customs and material possessions are fake and dumb, and the only way to be truly happy is to reject them all and live like a dog. And this wasn't just a metaphor. Diogenes legit modeled his life after stray mutts. Dude would eat scraps, sleep wherever, and yes, he did in fact defecate in public. Just squatted right there in the street like it was the world's worst TED Talk. And he didn't just believe in this stuff, he weaponized it. One time Plato, remember him? Big smart guy, called Socrates a man made of ideas. And Diogenes just stomped into his classroom, snorted and said, "Behold, a Plato," while pointing at a plucked chicken. Because apparently, reducing someone's entire philosophy to poultry-based mockery was peak intellectual discourse back then. Oh, and Alexander the Great? Literal ruler of half the known world? Even he couldn't faze Diogenes. Legend goes, Alexander visits him and is like, "Hey man, I'm a big fan. Is there anything I can do for you?" And Diogenes, who's just chilling in the sun like a lizard on a rock, goes, "Yeah, can you move? You're blocking my sunlight." Imagine having so much don't give a crap energy that you tell Alexander the freaking Great to stop casting a shadow on you. Diogenes also carried a lantern around in broad daylight. People would be like, "Hey, why the lamp?" It's noon. And he'd say, "I'm looking for an honest man." Which sounds all deep and poetic until you realize it's just his way of saying, "Y'all are fake and I hate you." Classic Diogenes. Now, not everyone loved this guy, obviously. He got kicked out of places constantly. At one point, he was even sold into slavery. And when asked what he could do as a slave, he said, "I know how to govern men. Sell me to someone who needs a master." And they did. He actually became a tutor for some rich guy's kids and apparently did a pretty decent job, which is wild, considering he probably still smelled like a barn fire and refused to wear pants. There's even a story, and yes, this is real, where he was seen pleasuring himself in public. When someone asked him why he was doing that in the marketplace, he said, "If only I could relieve my hunger by rubbing my belly." So basically, he turned being gross into a political statement. Like, if Oscar the Grouch had a manifesto, eventually he died. Probably of old age, maybe from food poisoning or rabies, or just being allergic to societal expectations. We don't know for sure. But what we do know is that Diogenes lived his whole life as one big middle finger to social norms. He didn't care about fame or wealth or hygiene or even decency. All he wanted was to live in accordance with nature, mock hypocrisy, and do whatever the hell he wanted, wherever he wanted. So, next time you're wondering whether to care what people think about you, just remember, there was once a guy who lived in a jar, flipped off the world, and told a literal emperor to get out of his sunbeam. And that guy is now remembered as one of the most hardcore philosophers in history. Not bad for a dude who pooped in the street.